take some notes on this. You'll need to know how to do this. Okay. Listen up. Here we go. Ionic. So, how to work out ionic bonds. When I give you a problem, let's say it's sodium and chlorine. What you would do is, the first step is to look up the ion number in your periodic table. Sodium is +1, it's in the 1A group. Chlorine is -1, it's in the 7A group. That's step 1. Step 2. Cross, drop, and lose the charge. So this one is going to come over here. That one's going to go over there. You're going to drop the charge. And pretty basic. Remember that when the numbers are the same, it reduces to ones. So we never write the ones. If those were twos, if it was a +2 and a -2, you'd still have a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's the simplest form of that. Let's say that we have aluminum. Aluminum happens to be in the 3A group, so it's +3. And we add some chlorine to it, -1. Cross, drop, and lose the charge. Simple enough. Here we go. So it's Al with a 1, so we don't write that, and Cl3 with the subscript. Okay. Pretty standard. Covalent now. Covalent. Let's take a look at that. Covalent, you're going to have to do something a little different. Covalent. Steps. Number 1, Lewis dot structure. Okay, example. Let's take the simplest of examples, hydrogen. Here's a hydrogen here, and another hydrogen here. They both have 1 electron, and we're going to add them together. And here's how it looks. So in order to do this, you need to remember to add on those electrons in the Lewis dot structure. And covalent, remember, is shared, so they're coming close to each other. If they form a single bond, it's going to look like this with a dot there. I would like you to draw the other electron from the other atom with an X, indicating it's from that one. And the circle indicates that these are 2 shared electrons. 2 shared electrons. And that circle represents the valence outer shell orbit. The valence outer shell orbit. That's probably the simplest. So step 2 would be to bring them together. Step 3, draw the circle. Now, inside that circle, there could be 1, 2, or 3 single bonds. Okay? Could be a single bond, a double bond, or a triple bond. I'll show you how to do a double bond. And this was illustrated in the video yesterday. Let's take oxygen as our first example. Oxygen, as you know, has 6 electrons. And I'm going to draw these like so. The electrons from this oxygen are indicated by X's. Whoops. Let me do that slightly different. So these X's are going to be over here. So now when we bring these together, let's see what we have. And this is where the magic happens, right here. Watch this. So the oxygens are going to come together. This one has 6, still has 6. However, these oxygens from these electrons from the other oxygen are going to come close, and the oxygen atom on the left is going to feel like it has those two. It's going to share them. It's going to share them. And let's draw the circles now. So this oxygen's valence shell is here. And this oxygen's valence shell is here. Indicating that we now have a double bond here. This is a double bond. So a final step, step 4. Count electrons to see if outer shell is complete. Now, that's an important step, because if you miss that step and you actually have less or fewer than a full outer shell, you got some issues. So I'm just going to check off here. It's going to look a little messy. Actually, let me do this like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from that oxygen, plus 2 more is 8. So this oxygen feels like he has 8 electrons in his outer shell, because he's sharing those 2. So he feels complete. The oxygen on the left, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of its own, plus 7 and 8 shared from the other oxygen. That forms oxygen gas, diatomic oxygen, as our video on naming indicated yesterday. Okay? So covalent bonding involves a different series of steps, but same principle. 2 atoms or more coming together to form a bond, either ionic or covalent. Now in high school you're going to learn about metallic bonding. We're not going to do that, but you'll learn about metallic bonding in high school, which is a little bit more involved. Okay, ready for practice?